What's up, guys? Hello. Thanks for joining me on another installment of Hip Hop Bob Ross. I'm going to try to fit a quick one in here this morning to go with a certain project that I'm working on. Let's see, with a little color in the frame. Let's add some worry dolls in here. Oh, look at this guy. So these came from a local monastery, Catholic monastery. Oh, that's a cute one. And these are worry dolls made in Guatemala, I believe handmade. And the saying goes, "What's up, BBs? Thanks for joining." Saturday morning here in America. I believe you're in Greece. I could be wrong, but I know we've been following each other for a long time. Thanks for joining. So with these particular worry dolls, you're supposed to put them underneath your pillow before you go to bed. And as you dream about worries, they'll take away your worries and allow you to live carefree the following day. I think they work. So this is a project that is about it's about creating AI-generated art. And my source material, I'm just going to be doing random drawings based off of posts that I've made, that I've saved on Instagram. I'm going to just try to do, I don't know how this is going to completely work out, but I'm going to see how much I can pump out in about an hour. So I'm going to try not to erase it all. This is all pretty much kind of free-flowing stuff, because the whole point of this is to create art that is reflective of how artificial intelligence sees and creates art. Just fast and with little emotion. I'm heading to Missouri on Monday for a couple of weeks because I had a death in the family. My uncle passed away, and I'm going to help my aunt out. Kind of do all the end-of-life procedures, pack away stuff, convince her to move closer to family. But yeah, normal things that you have to deal with in life as you approach middle age. I hate to admit it. So this reference that I'm working on right now is from a page called Calypso Fire Witch, and I believe that the clothing on this particular model was made by someone local. Her name's Shanna Warwick. She specializes in textiles. Just a really strong image, which helps to underscore just the model, the beauty of the model, and the clothing that she's wearing. This isn't really turning out the way I want it to, but we'll go back and finish it. I usually really like to start with loose gestural lines to lay out proportions. And this is the point where, a lot of artists are really itching with the voice that this sucks and you want to kind of walk away from it. But time and time again, I've learned that after you kind of push through this part, kind of like a bad haircut, things flesh themselves out, and you can refine your mistakes and make it look like something good and readable, and with enough luck, something that looks entirely your own, tinged with your style. cocaine. Ooh, let's change this song. This one's a little too early 90s San Francisco funk for me. So this playlist right here is on Spotify. It's a lo-fi, no copyright playlist created by Lo-Fi Samurai. 157 songs, 7 hours and 5 minutes. We're going to skip that one. All right. Sorry, I'm fumbling with my laptop here. All right. Let's get some eyes in here. So, thank everyone for joining. This actual, this particular reference that I'm working from, this lady looks like a witch. I mean, that's the first thing that I think of, but she also has some sort of halo over her head, so then when I think about it a little more, she's kind of maybe a Eastern Orthodox witch. Something from, I don't know, Romani clan. What do they call those? Gypsy witches. She might have a crystal ball behind her. But as I was growing up, my aunt, who I'm going to see and help out, she was very into metaphysical, kind of alternative studies kind of things, and we basically called her the witch in our family, and it was easy to dismiss her sometimes because she would call and talk about taking your herbs and your vitamins and making sure that you don't fall under the machinations of capitalism. And all of that stuff sounds like really current and relevant now, but I was hearing that in the 90s when I was 10 years old. So it's particularly resonating when I see that it's kind of what's in style right now. But I was going to say, the witch lifestyle and all of that, it was easy really to dismiss kind of growing up as just something of counterculture. But when you hear about people talking about astrology and things like that, if you're a person steeped in education of science and math, it's easy to dismiss that stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I've asked myself, why does it stick around, and why is it even more so now? I feel in the past 5 years there's been this explosion of kind of alternative metaphysical ways of thinking, and I think the answer that I've come to is that it's generations old. It's hard to put away something that has been around through generations and through millennia. And I think that in and of itself validates it. And I have a lot of close friends that toy around with that stuff, and I feel like for the most part kind of tongue-in-cheek and just for fun, but I think there's a part of the human spirit that deals with uncertainty through that kind of lens, and it can be powerful. So yeah. Oh wait, there's a heart right there. Let's see how we put the heart in. Let's just blob it in there. Oh yes. I'm just gonna blob it in there. splash of color. So, I'm just working on a series of drawings that I'll be posting prints online for. Inspired by AI-generated art. All right, let's move on to the next piece, or the next reference, because that's the whole point of this exercise, is that I'm looking at Instagram. I mean, one of the main forms of communication for a lot of people, and it's huge in the art and entertainment world, if you didn't know. And, you know, as I'm going through it, much like I used to go through the internet years ago and just bookmark pages, one thing that I found is that you end up having all of these interesting pages and all this interesting content that you save or bookmark, but you never really go revisit. I mean, at least I didn't. And I would, but I learned that it took a conscious effort to really go back and look at that stuff. And it was all to the benefit of myself, because I was the one that saved it. So this is my kind of homage to that process of kind of saving things and making sure that I check them out at some later date. So these are all coming from reference. Like right now I'm looking at my laptop and looking at some images, and the source material is my saved post on Instagram. And the reason why I'm choosing that is because this kind of plays with my style. I've got a quick, loose style, and it also kind of helps me explore the concept of AI-generated art, which is, part and parcel, part of the entire kind of technological wave that we're living in. You know, there's going to be, if you listen to and believe the news and commentators, there's going to be a wave of, computer mind stuff happening in the near future. And the first, more specifically, artificial intelligence. And I think in a practical sense, when people think of artificial intelligence, they're hoping that they're hoping that their smart home system will turn off the lights when they leave the house and maybe raise or lower the thermostat. A lot of practical applications for AI. But then a few years ago, there was some artists that decided to apply that whole method or science of artificial intelligence to creating artwork. And I think we've all experienced kind of the consequences of that, or benefits, but right now we're dealing with the consequences of AI-generated imagery in the form of, I think the kind of the most glaring example of that is on the internet, the concept of deep fake videos. You can take images, old images of, let's say, Richard Nixon, and pop them into a computer, and then that computer will kind of read and learn that stuff, and then put Richard Nixon's face next to an actor's body that's sitting next to Barack Obama. And, if you didn't look twice, and if you didn't know that these sorts of things were happening, you would swear it was real. So that's what I'm doing. I'm basically just kind of exploring that idea of artificial intelligence by, the data set for the AI, or for me, would be my Instagram save post. All right, there's that. Let's throw a little color in there. So this one is from an account called fun.with.acid. But I think it was more or less sourced from, or the reason why I save this post is because I follow the hashtag Ren and Stimpy, because I'm still a child, you know. But I was actually looking for, source material for some paintings. Oh, that's really dark. Really dark. And I should have started at the bottom. So I'll just dab that up. A dibbity dabbity dabbity. So my cat's visiting me, and because I haven't paid attention to her or said hi, she's just going really crazy and rubbing up on me. I'm busy, Abby. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Let's move on to the next one. We'll try this. Yeah, I like this one. So it's a Saturday morning. Here in upstate New York, we've been lucky to have an actual real winter. And I say real winter because, in my opinion, as an upstate New Yorker, we've just had really mild winters with barely any snow, and it's just gray and dark and drizzly out, hovering around 40 degrees, so above freezing, but below anything warm enough to go enjoy. But this winter has been really good. Kind of one way to measure how good the winter is, at least for me, is how long we've continuously had snow on the ground. And I think we've had pretty much snow on the ground since Christmas, so that indicates that it's just been cold enough and snowy enough to cover the landscape with clean, beautiful snow. As I've gotten older, I get the signals of getting older based on my ways of thinking, and one of them is I don't know if I really want to stay in upstate New York much longer. But then that's always pushed away as soon as the snow comes, because I really come from a frame of mind that if it's going to be cold and wintry, at least it should look pretty. Oh my God. So I'm sorry, I've committed myself to just going with the flow and how I lay these pictures out, and I'm not taking too much time to fix anything. So sorry, they might look effed up, but have you ever tried to look at AI generated art? It's creepy. It's not quite. It reads instantly as something real or human made, but then upon further inspection, you're like, wait a second, this looks horrific. If you want to know what I mean, just Google AI generated art and you'll see. The colors are there, the values are there, but the form's not quite there, Hey. Oh yeah, this goes here, that goes to this arm, and this is obscured. Okay, sorry, this sucks, but the true artist always knows how to fix the suckiness. So So, if anyone's wondering if they're going to be flying anytime soon, there's still, at least with the United Airlines, they still have a policy where you can change your dates for change your flight dates for free. Just in case you need to know that. So this reference is from an account. It's a guy, I guess, named Omar Hollander from Rome, Italy. I think his models. He does a lot of models. I really like how the backgrounds and how he frames his models. So check him out. Let's just get wild with this one. I'm just gonna go all in. Oopsie. So what's everyone having for breakfast? Do you even do breakfast? I myself am not much of a breakfast person. Ooh, shit. Well, there goes that. I mean, I'll do a breakfast if I know I'm going to be doing some physical labor during the day. If I'm just going to be wallowing around and not being active, my body just, I found that my body just doesn't like the extra calories, and I basically I get really lethargic and lazy if I just eat without using the energy. Okay, we're going to make this hideous form look somewhat pretty by just focusing on the eyes. And I will tell you, if anyone wants to kind of just practice on drawing figures, really focus on forming the eyes. Because, once you got a handle of that, you can make it pretty much anything look good. And, I think that just goes to show how we are so in tune to the human face. I'm sure that when you look at clouds, one of the first things that you see is a face, and one of the most distinctive elements of any face is that two set of eyes. Oh, I can just dip it in there. Wow, look at all the things you learned, Sam. All right, this is where it can all mess up, the mouth. And kind of some of the techniques that I've learned on drawing faces come from just a few realizations. And one is I was watching some documentary as a kid. This is terrible. She looks like a yokel. I was watching a documentary when I was a kid about the Mona Lisa, and the host was just talking about how subtle the little smirk on the Mona Lisa's face is, and what that takes is from an artist's standpoint to capture that is just the slightest of strokes, or just a touch of color, in a certain way, and he stressed that it was very subtle, and that it's easy to overdo. So in that case, less is more. But when I heard that, I just, I realized that, the face is about subtlety, and it's just little tiny marks. Okay, this really sucks, but how are we gonna save it, Sam? So yeah, I think this, I don't think this particular mask, this balaclava, is going to fly as far as being able to go out in public, but sometimes I ask myself where, in a few years from now, when it's not necessarily required to wear a mask anymore, once we're hopefully over this pandemic, will we still be wearing masks? And I think the answer is a resounding yeah. I think it's added an element to people's psyche that allows them to think, think in a new way. Hey Google, how much time is left on the timer? Oh, mailman's early today. Okay, there's that. Let's fill these in before it gets too wild out here. Let's go with something smaller, I guess. Anyone doing anything fun this weekend? It's nice and sunny out. I've been thinking about getting a fish. Maybe a betta. I think it's the only type of fish only type of pet fish that I know of. Whoa, look at that finger. Boy, is it stringy. Oh, wait a second, is she missing a finger? Oh, it must be obscured somehow. Oh, I'm not gonna race. No erasing. I wanted to. Alright, let's do a little shading here. Baby, just call. Alright. Let's get a little boob shade and fill this in here. So if you're just joining us, this is kind of some drawings for my series called AI Generated. And the concept of this kind of series of drawings is if you think about, well, one, there's an artist that's fed an AI computer system with a bunch of images of Renaissance paintings, and then programmed that computer to make its own rendition of those paintings, original forms or original pieces, and using the data set of historical Renaissance pieces, it pops out some of its own paintings, and they're ghostly and otherworldly and just kind of strange. So a computer basically learned how to paint. So the concept that I'm exploring is something similar. I am wanting to draw images interpreted by me, and the data set is being my Instagram saved post. Come on, Sam, let's just pick something here. I guess we'll do this. This one sucks. I'm not going to do that one. Is this coming in? Okay. Yo, good morning, everybody. Sometimes I wonder, I like to play these little mind games where I try to envision myself, and this was all inspired by a guided imagery class that I took in college. And for those that don't know, guided imagery is a form of meditation where you have someone, kind of talk you into these just talk you into these scenarios. The setup is, you're in a room and maybe you're lying down, but basically you're just as comfortable as you can be. And you close your eyes and you try to relax, and the guide tells you to relax, and then they try to get you to imagine that you're traveling and leaving your body. And after that class, I think I was able to take away something that really stayed with me, and it was the ability to kind of, get out of my own head, sit back, relax, and kind of just imagine that I was elsewhere, So one of the things that I like to do is I like to imagine and put myself in other people's shoes. So the reason why I'm talking about this is I'm drawing a cow, and as I draw this, I try to start thinking about, maybe the workers of a farm. They might be migrants. I just try to imagine myself as one of them, maybe in the fields, boots on, maybe sweating, and just kind of, working. Hearing the sound of the soil underneath your feet, hearing yourself breathing heavily, Maybe you're smoking a cigarette, chewing on some tobacco. Maybe you've got worries or celebrations. Obviously, this is a cow. Maybe it's not so obvious, but let's put another one back here. So, I think cows are so cool because of their ears. It adds a nice balance to the form of their head. Oh, this sucks. But this will always look better as soon as you put the ears on. Then be like, oh, that's a cow. Well, that ear really sucks, but let's try to make it up on this one. Alright, well, this more or less looks like a cow on Nickelodeon. So, you know, as you draw, you, at least for me, there's a difference between drawing and recreate. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Basically, I'm always looking for readability. And what I was going to say is that, you know, this didn't look much like a cow, but then one of the defining features is this, you know, this white line, kind of, you know, the different coloration in their fur. This white line that runs down through the center of their head. Maybe this here. So the markings on their body kind of helped me save this depiction of a cow. We'll call her Bess. She's got an overlip. I was drawing the underlip. You know what? I think we'll call that a wrap. Thanks for joining.